Hello, and welcome to the Life with Bob blog at healthyplace.com. I am Angela McClanahan, the author of Life with Bob. Recently, I posted about some problems we're having with our insurance company. Um, I have tried to refill all of Bob's prescriptions actually because his psychiatrist rewrote all of them the last time we were in her office a couple of weeks ago. At that time, um, we had just recently switched insurance companies to my husband's insurer, and when I went to refill the prescriptions, I found out that that insurance company would not fill them because someone in their office believes that Bob is taking too much of his medications and should be able to get by on a lower dose. So they will not fill those without approval from Bob's psychiatrist, which is really confusing to me because if the psychiatrist hand wrote the prescriptions, that would kind of indicate that she approved the dosage, but what do I know? At any rate, I received the very first comment that I received on that post was from someone who stated that they agreed with the insurance company that Bob is highly over medicated and shouldn't be on 4 different medications. And um, basically, the gist was shame on you. How dare you give your kid so many pills? Um, this just really bothers me. And my reply back was I tried to keep it as polite as I could because I do consider this a professional website and I do consider my blog to be professional. So I didn't want to just fly off the handle and say what I was actually thinking because I was very frustrated yesterday. Bob ran out of his medication. He has 2 days left of summer school this week, and he's had a really good month in summer school. He's really enjoyed the classes that he's taking and really enjoyed the teacher that he's working with and hasn't had any trouble at all. So for him to now be stuck with 2 days and short on medication, and he's getting ready to go to his dad's for another week, so I've got to get these filled in short order, or he's going to have some time basically left floundering by himself without the medications that he's been taking and is used to taking. So yeah, I've been a little more than frustrated, and then to see that comment that's basically pointing the finger at me and saying, "Oh, you're a bad parent," and "How dare you," um, it really just hits me hard because I don't understand this immediate assumption that I'm out to cause my child harm. Uh, why would you immediately assume that anyone is trying to intentionally hurt their kid um, by taking them to a physician? And this is the story that I heard over and over again for years from Bob's biological father. Um, the whole argument of you just want to medicate him so you don't have to parent him, which I didn't really understand that either because part of being a parent is taking care of your child when they are ill. Obviously, if your child is unable to even stay in a kindergarten classroom for an entire day because of their behavior, they have a problem. There's something amiss there. There's something that's not right that needs to be addressed. And part of parenting is addressing that. And I I went for, a couple of years fighting people who were telling me to put Bob on medication. I had people when he was as young as not even 2 years old telling me that he needed to be medicated, and I said, no way. I fought against it tooth and nail. Um, and I still question myself if I'm doing the right thing by giving him medications. But for someone to come out of the blue, who doesn't know me, doesn't know Bob, doesn't know any of his history, doesn't know anything about our situation, uh, other than one blog post, to come in and tell me that I'm giving my child too many medications because he's taking 4 pills, which actually he's only taking 3 right now because I've stopped giving him the clonidine because it's been a little over sedating. Um, he's kind of moving into the stage, the part of the year where he kind of comes down uh, from the mania a little bit and kind of levels out a little bit. So the clonidine was really just kind of making him way too sedated, way too groggy, and so I cut that out for now. So really, he's only taking 3 medications, which for a child with his diagnoses is really very little. I've heard of kids being on as many as 5 or 6, 7 different kinds of medication. There are adults who are on a ridiculous amount of medication. But beyond that, I don't understand, like I said, the immediate assumption that I'm out to do harm to my child, because that's not the case at all. If I felt like I could help him um, on a completely non-medical, using a completely non-medical approach, using just therapy or just behavior modification techniques, I definitely would do that. And believe me, we've tried those. I've tried them in the past before he was ever on any medication. I still use a lot of them, even though he's still on medication. The thing is, when he's not medically stable, those techniques are worthless. Therapy does absolutely nothing. Using those different kind of disciplinary techniques are, I might as well just beat my head against this wall. And, his therapist that he was seeing has agreed with me on that point, that, there is definitely a medical component to what his problems are. It's not purely behavioral. It's not just a result of bad parenting. So sorry, go ahead and try to blame me all you want, but unfortunately, it's not entirely my fault. I hate to disappoint you. At any rate, as I mentioned in the blog post, we are hopefully changing insurance in the next, I hope, the next couple of days. My husband is having a meeting at his office today about that, so I'll hopefully know more about that later this afternoon. I've already made the decision that as far as the Focalin prescription goes, because we can get a generic form of that, a month's supply would be $100, and if they can't get it all worked out by the end of the day today, I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and refill that and pay for it out of pocket, and hopefully try to recover some of my cost from Coventry after the fact, because he just can't function without it. I mean, he has to have that. It really helps him to slow down and really helps with his impulse control issues. And without that, I mean, he's just bouncing off the walls all day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that if they can't get it all worked out by the end of the day. So that's where we are. But again, to people who are reading these blogs and watching these videos, be nice. Don't just assume that parents are out to get their kids. Believe it or not, we're not all trying to drug our children into submission. That's not what I want at all. Like I said, I've backed down on one of Bob's medications already because it was too sedating. And I don't want my kid walking around like he's stoned out of his brain. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I would like to find medication that works for him and allows him to be who he is. Because yes, I do know who my son is when he's normal. And I haven't seen that for quite a while. And I'm hoping to see that again really soon. Once again, this is Angela McClanahan, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video and for following Life with Bob at healthyplace.com. Thank you.